born in old St. Louis. By the age of 4, Dad knew he was the best little crack shot the West had ever seen. By the time he reached pubescence, he could outshoot all the adolescents west of Durango and north of Abilene. Pharkas, Freddy Pharkas, famous gunslinging deputy. Freddy Pharkas, Freddy Pharkas, frontier hero to be. Then one day young Freddy Pharkas stared at eyes as black and dark as night, the eyes of an outlaw well known throughout the West. Oh, the tough kid's name was Kenny, and he outdrew Freddy Pharkas when he shot Freddy's ear off to prove who was the best. Now our hero Freddy Pharkas, with wounded pride and earless carcass, vowed to the heavens to give up gunnery. He'd be better off, he reckoned, with a lifelong dream that always beckoned pencils, not pistols, and pharmacology. Pharkas, Freddy Pharkas, highest score on his SAT. Freddy Pharkas, Freddy Pharkas, 5-year college degree. After Fred matriculated, got his PhD and graduated, moved out to Coarsegold and bought a pharmacy. Now he's a real prescription writer, and they don't know he's an ex-gunfighter. Locked up his memories, repressed them totally. But his peaceful new survival soon was shot to hell upon arrival of Coarsegold schoolmarm, the sweet Penelope. She has captured Fred's affection, but he's scared he'll get a huge rejection. Can't bear to tell her just what he used to be. Pharkas, Freddy Pharkas, frontier pharmacist bourgeoisie. Freddy Pharkas, Freddy Pharkas, peerless, earless, and free.
Freddy Pharkas? You was asking about Freddy Pharkas? The man what saved Coarsegold, only nobody knowed it was him? Why, just hop up here on old Whitland Willie's lap, and I'll tell you all about it. Ow, consarn it, a bit more to the right. That's got it. Sit right there. Oh, no, thank you. Now, if I remembers this right, it's been quite a few years. My brain's getting a mite rusty. Oh, that's right. It all started when Freddy went to open up the pharmacy one day, way back in the spring of 1888, as I recall.
Mom's Cafe must have good food. It's where all the stagecoaches stop. You've always assumed the Golden Balls Saloon must once have been a pawn shop. Ah, many's the young cowpoke who had to quickly lower himself off this balcony with a bunch of knotted sheets, usually stark naked. Billy, the town handyman and jack-of-all-trades, is boarding up yet another Coarsegold business, the Dirty Sheet Hotel, the finest hostelry in all of eastern Madera County. Okay, so maybe it was only the best after that other hotel was shut down, but in its day, the dirty sheet was really something.
Say, Billy, when did the old dirty sheet fold?
Oh, good morning, Mr. Farkas. Why, just yesterday. It was a surprise to me, too. Nobody told me nothing about it until they gave me these boards.
Morning, Helen.
Freddy Pharkas, since when are we on a first-name basis? Only my closest friends may call me Helen. You and I are acquaintances, nothing more. Therefore, you should address me as Mom.
Land's sake, I'm sorry, Mom?
That's better. Now, what'd you want?
Well, when I remember, I'll let you know.
Honestly, some people.
Mom, did you know that the hotel's been shut down?
Well, of course I did. Where on earth have you been, Freddy Pharkas?
Any idea who did it or why?
Sheriff Shift and Phineas were there, talking about it being a fire hazard and something about there being back rent owed. But I'm no gossip, don't go by what I'm telling you.
Howdy, Hop. How's the restaurant business?
Pretty slow. Not much business. Seem like town closing up and blowing away.
You've noticed that too, have you?
Oh yes, first old abandoned mine, then assay office, then post office, then toll and tin shop, then theater, yesterday hotel. What next?
Well, I intend to get to the bottom of this.
Maybe hurry before Mom's next to go. Hop Sing not want to lose his job.
It's an old empty can of P&W beans, the firm, crisp beans that smell as savory on the way out as they do on the way in.
Hey, Mom, would you mind if I took this empty can?
If you must, I suppose there's more where that came from. In fact, I insist you take it. Get it out of here. I'm sick of the sight of it. Score!
Rain barrels are such an important aspect of life in an arid, drought-scourged landscape like this. Water running off the building's roofs is channeled through gutters and downspouts into storage. Oh, wait a minute. This is just an old whiskey barrel. Forget it.
Well, if it ain't Sam Andreas, the bartender's bartender.
If it's not, I'm having a severe identity crisis.
How the heck are you?
Tolerably well. Yourself?
Can't complain. Pharmacy business seems to be pretty good lately.
Ah, well, the pharmacy business has always been a little too interesting for me to hear about, so, don't be a stranger.
It's old Doc Dizzy Gillespie. He's been drinking again. Must be office hours.
Doc! Hey, Doc!
Huh? What's that?
Are you drunk again?
Me? Drunk? Never. I'm as sober as the day I was plowed off my ass. I mean, the day I was born.
You pick up the whiskey glass.
Score!
This is a credit. These weren't actually found in Coarsegold in the 1880s, but if they were, they'd have looked a lot like this one. You pull the ice pick out of the barrel and gingerly place it in your pocket. Just don't bend over suddenly or you'll circumcise yourself. Of course, that won't be any skin off your nose. A colorful poster for Nun-style beer hangs on the back of Mom's Cafe. Nun-style beer, pure brewed in God's country, now in redeemable bottles. Wow, some of Dad Gum's magic elixir. This stuff can be used to cure a wide variety of conditions, the foremost being sobriety.
Score!
You surreptitiously swipe the elixir, looking around to see if anybody's watching. Fortunately, nobody is. One of Hyman Untertaker's coffins is lying in disrepair off near Reboot Hill. It looks like a cedar model number 7. Eternal slumber and no moths. Ah, scratching right there sure feels good, eh, Freddy? You would never dream of stealing a candle from a church, but they wouldn't miss one of those puddles of candle wax. The door clearly shows the beauty of natural wood grain finish. In other words, it needs a coat of paint. You take the key to the church. The outhouse has a signature half-moon cutout. The ladder, held in place by a couple of old loose screws, easily comes away from the slide. You somehow cram it into your pocket along with the rest of the junk you're carrying. Way to go, Freddy. Wrecked the little kids' playground equipment. If only they knew how good and true your heart is.
Score!
This is the old red schoolhouse, one of the few buildings that still seems solid and safe. This sign says Chesterfield's Mercantile Company. It may indicate there's a store inside this building. The door swings open. From the back, you hear Chester's voice.
Help yourself. I'll be right out.
Hiya, Whittlin' Willie. How's the whittlin' going?
Hiya, Sonny. Just splendidly, thanks. I'm working on an old dead beach whale. It's going to be my best work to date.
Will it be for sale?
Will it be for sale? No, it ain't going to be for sale. I'm an artiste, dagnabbit. Besides, if I hang on to it for a while, maybe it'll be worth a bundle someday. Now scram.
Considering that there's nothing for sale here, you wonder why Chester even bothers keeping these brown paper sacks around.
Score!
You take a complimentary paper bag. That just doesn't work like that. The sign says Pharkas Pharmacy. This must be the place. The pharmacy door is locked. This ain't Mayberry, partner. You unlock the door. Ta-da! 500 points. You're halfway through the game. On top of this cabinet, you have a stunningly arranged display of Old Snuffy's Limp Root Hair Oil Cream in the 8-ounce, 16-ounce, and giant 64-ounce Baby Huey jars, as well as a few dusty boxes of Rustler's Stove chocolates. Rustler's Stove, the standard of drugstore chocolates for over half a century. Here, on top of your reduced table, Madame Gazonga's Parfum D'Eau Springtime Fresh Scent, Aunt Lily's Toilette Essence Shampoo, French Woman's Brand Breath Detoxifier, Pinkham Edible Depilatory, Hollywood Land Ruminant Suppressant. Hollywood stars don't chew their cuds. Why should you? The new Episheep Easy Shearer, and Preparation G, though you don't always have that on hand.
Score!
You pick up a tube of Preparation G in the handy 25-ounce Krabby Elephant size. Ah, your diploma from the University of Hicksville School of Apothecary Sciences and other good guesses. The old alma mater. What memories.
Frederick.
Why, Miss Prim, you sure are looking purty today.
Now, Frederick, you may call me Penelope if you please. After all, I think we're to that point in our relationship.
She must be talking about the hayride you both went on last month, or the square dance you both went to last week, or the cow tipping expedition you both went on last night.
Well then, to what do I owe the pleasure of your company this fine morning?
Oh, this isn't a social call, I'm afraid. I have this rather important prescription Doc Gillespie gave me. I was hoping you could fill it as soon as possible.
My pleasure, Penelope.
Score!
You take your old gunslinger clothes and your good guy model Stetson hat.
Score!
You take the key.
Hot dog! Now we're getting somewhere.
Score!
You pick up the claim check, your hand trembling with the memory of the last time you wore the boots that you traded for it. That monster, Kenny the Kid, looking down at you and laughing as your ear bled in the hot sun. You put those boots away, never to wear them again. And when you moved to Coarsegold, you sent them to be cleaned and polished. That was years ago. They've probably been lost or thrown away by now. There's nothing under there but more. You stumbled onto this big old dresser at a moving sale and broke your toe. So rather than pay to have your toe fixed, the owner let you keep the dresser. In fact, you get all your furniture by accident. Your authentic moose skin rug looks very attractive with those eyeglasses on it. It would have been a mite less lumpy if somebody had remembered to skin the moose first. The desktop's locked. Damn this crude desktop interface. You unlock the desktop. The drawer's locked. You unlock the desk drawer.
Score!
You take the letter out of the drawer. You received this letter a few years back from your recently dearly departed friend, Phil Graves.
Dear Freddy, thank you so very kindly for your gracious hospitality during my recent convalescence. The floor of your workroom proved a comfortable bed, and the stale pharmacy goods you fed me staved off starvation quite adequately. I must admit to being a little curious of your request that I retain your safety deposit key for you. I cannot imagine what you have secured in that bank vault that could create such strong feelings of both revulsion and endearment. However, I have done as you asked and taken your key with me. I vow to you I will never return this key to you, nor even allow it within your sight. I further swear to keep it with me wherever I go. On this you have my word of honor, for I am ever your friend, Philip D. Graves.
You carefully label the container, Miss Penelope Prim, for internal use only. And what internals they are, you dream about them day and night.
Thank you, Frederick. This looks perfect. You are a scholar and a gentleman.
Aw, shucks. I'm just a poor pharmacist trying to please my favorite customer. Will I see you again soon?
I think that can be arranged, Frederick. See you soon.
I'll be waiting. So long now, Penelope.
Unfortunately, you were so taken with Penelope's angelic presence that you forgot to charge her the 19 cents she owed you.
Good day, Freddy. Freddy Pharkas!
Well, good day to you, Ms. Back. What can I do for you today?
Well, Freddy Pharkas, Doc Gillespie, that no-good gin soap salt no lush, wrote me this damn prescription that'll probably cost me an arm and a leg. Here, take it. The rot gut from that old wino doctor is making my new ensemble stink to high heaven, I want to tell you.
You study Helen Back's prescription and prepare to carefully fill it. You carefully label the container, Mrs. Helen Back. Take 3 times daily just before meals.
That's better, Freddy Pharkas.
That'll be 22 cents, Miss Back.
Y'all just put it on my tab. I don't have it with me right now,
Freddy Cherie, just slide that handsome pharmacist butt on over here. I got something I need from you.
Morning, Sadie. What have you got?
Well, I got a prescription here I need filled. Something that'll increase my womanly powers, if you know what I mean. Be a dear and fill it for me right away, won't you? I simply can't wait to try it out.
Your wish is my command, madam.
You take the prescription from the madam. What a busy morning. You haven't had to fill this many prescriptions since Custer's troop stayed at the Dirty Sheet Hotel. This prescription is impossible to read. That's what happens when Doc writes a prescription through bleary whiskey-soaked eyeballs.
Score!
Ah, now you can see this prescription the way Doc wrote it.
Excuse me, Sadie. I've got to run out for a bit. Hang on, I'll be right back.
Okay, Freddy, but hurry back.
That just... You thrust the prescription and the whiskey glass under Doc's nose.
Hey, Doc, this says testosterate. You really want to prescribe this to a woman?
Testosterate? No, I suppose that would be a poor choice. Let's see. This was for Sadie Ovary, right? I must have meant something else. Let me fix it. Ooh. Hey, there you go. Take this back to your pharmacy and have fun.
Thanks, Doc.
Don't come crying to me, George Bailey. I'm going to swear out a warrant for your arrest. Score!
How?
Yeah.
Time for you shift over.
Oh, please. You've been reading too many dime novels. Stop talking like that.
Just trying to please the tourist, Herb.
Sure, tourist. Whatever. See you later. I'm going to go soak my corns.
My people call it maize.
Jeez.
I'm back, Sadie. Sorry for the delay. I just had to check out a few things.
Perfectly okay, Freddy hon. I was just admiring the way you display your goods.
Look who's talking.
You study Doc's corrections to Madame Overy's prescription and prepare to carefully fill it.
Oops.
You carefully label the container Madame Overy.
Why, merci, Freddy dear.
That's gonna be 22 cents, Sadie, but for you, I'll make it 19.
What do you say we just sorta take it out in trade? I'm a mite short this week.
Well...
Why, thank you, Freddy. Ooh, you sweet potato pie. I'll catch you tonight, maybe, huh? Au revoir.
Hey, Pharkas! My butt's killing me!
He does know how to make an entrance, doesn't he?
Sorry to hear that, Smithy.
Yeah, so give me some of that preparation Jake.
That'll be 15 cents, Smithy, but I don't suppose you can pay me.
Are you saying I can't pay my bills fair and square, Pharkas? Well, here, I'm gonna settle up tabs with you anyway, since I'm leaving town. Here's what I owe you.
Smithy pays you his tab. A whole $4.87. Holy moly, a windfall! You're rich! Well, kinda sorta.
And if you takes my advice, you'll get out of this town, Pharkas. Sheriff's closing people up right and left. Something stinks. And I mean them horses, 'cause they're farting up a storm, I'm a-telling you. It was like to pass out. Somebody must have put something in their feed. I don't know what, but I tell you, don't go striking no matches out there. Good luck to you, Pharkas. You was always one of the good.
Good luck to you, Smithy. Your strong back and gruff but good-hearted demeanor will be sorely missed.
But you was a strangin'.
Fire inspection.
I'm here to check out your fire safety per the new town regulations. Oh, look here. It's a good thing I came, Pharkas. I'm gonna have to shut this place up tighter than a pissant scrotum.
But, Sheriff, how could you? What's the charge? I haven't done anything wrong.
Fire hazard, my boy. Fire hazard. Why, this building's a terrible fire hazard. Looks to me like this whole damn building's made out of wood.
But, Sheriff, every building in this town is constructed of wood.
I don't know nothing about that, son. Tough luck, Pharkas. From now on, just keep the front door locked.
But what am I supposed to do, Sheriff? This is my livelihood.
If I was you, I'd talk to the bank. G'day.
So Freddy was forced to shut down the old pharmacy again his will. But he vowed to keep the place up, knowing that someday he'd be opening it up again. Problem being, the sheriff, an ornery cuss if there ever was one, was doing this all over town. The hotel, the playhouse, the smithy, the tall and thin shop, closing them all down on some flimsy pretext. There was no telling who was going to be next. Who'd put the sheriff up to it? And what was happening with the horses, for crying out loud? It were a mystery, says I.
Somebody's poor horse seems to be dispelling huge quantities of a noxious methane compound. Smithy has truly left town for good.
Score!
You take the leather strap. Smithy won't be needing it now, wherever he is. That just doesn't work like that. Digging through Smithy's formerly white-hot forge, you find an unused hunk of charcoal which you decide may well be of use to you, so you keep it.
Score!
You take the rope. Now that Smithy's closed up shop, he won't be missing it. You drop the charcoal into the tin can. Now we're getting somewhere.
Score!
With all the precision of a serial killer, you deftly poke some holes in the tin can with the ice pick. Ha! Having accomplished your immediate desire, and in the process hopelessly dulling the ice pick, you exhibit absolutely no regard for this barren piece of locality laughingly called the environment by brazenly tossing the ice pick away. You're such a consumer.
Score!
You slip the leather strap through the holes in the tin can. They fit perfectly. Congrats! You always wanted a tin feed bag.
Score!
A really terrifically disgusting idea. Unfortunately, the horse's tail momentarily blocks your access. You're beginning to feel a little lightheaded. Better use your gas mask.
Score!
You take a few deep breaths from the gas mask, clearing your head and enabling you to go on a while longer. In what may well be the most revolting idea you've ever had, you hold the brown paper sack up to the horse's anal sphincter and wait. With a reverberating the horse responds, inflating your bag with a foul sample of gas. You quickly twist the bag shut to lock in freshness. You're beginning to feel a little lightheaded. Better use your gas mask. You take a few deep breaths from the gas mask, clearing your head and enabling you to go on a while longer. The alcohol lamp feels cool to the touch.
Score!
You fill the alcohol lamp with Dad Gum's alcoholic elixir. Good idea, Freddy. The spectrum lines on that etched glass viewer reveal volumes to those who know how to read.
Score!
You quickly lick your fingers and pinch out the alcohol lamp's flame. You carefully label the jar aminophilic citrate. Congratulations, you've just created your first batch of Pharkas's deflatulizer. You carefully pour the deflatulizer into the horse's water trough. The horses greedily lap up the delish and nutrish medicated trough water.
Seeing as how his home-brewed patootie sealant done the trick on these horses, Freddy ran round and dumped the stuff into all the horse troughs in town. It weren't long before the folks of Coarsegold was all breathing a sigh of relief. Freddy tossed away his homemade gas mask. Kind of a shame, too, since he could have made a purty penny off the patent rights. Life returned to normal, for a short spell, any hooch, until one lazy day when one of the local inbreds came a-running up with the latest calamity.
Board up your windows and doors. Lock up the women and children. Run for the border, Louise. There's a stampede a-coming. A stampede! Hurry up, Freddy. You only got a week and a half before they get here.
A week and a half?
They's snails!
Snails? Snails?
Good heavens! This is the worst thing to happen to Coarsegold since the great hail of clams back in '83.
Sam, there's a stampede headed for town. Don't go outside.
We're open 24 hours a day, Fred. I never go outside. Besides, the sun dries out my beautiful skin.
I'm just saying, you know, for your own safety.
Oh, right. Tell you what, I'll stay in here and serve drinks and collect money. You run around outside like a chicken with your head cut off and save the town. Okay? Okay.
Hey, Sam, give me a case of the beer you just got in from St. Louis.
One case of lowbrow for the pharmacist, coming right up.
Sam hands you a case of lowbrow, the beer that gave St. Louis blues.
Now, you know that this beer doesn't come corked, right? They're using some newfangled pinched metal tops.
No problem, Sam. I'll take care of it.
All right, fine. That'll be $4.87.
Here you go.
Nice bankroll. Come back anytime.
This is your case of Lowbrow, the beer that gave St. Louis blues. All 24 bottles are tightly stoppered with them newfangled metal bottle caps. With muscles bulging from years of grappling with child-proof caps, you deftly wield the church key and wrench the tops from all the beer bottles.
Score!
These snails are the leading edge of a stampede of imported French escargot recently escaped from a haughty San Francisco restaurant being chased by a posse of snooty San Francisco chefs. They appear to stretch to the horizon, and they're heading straight for town. If you don't do something soon to prevent them, they'll slime the entire city. You grab a couple of snails from the front of the pack while imagining the aroma of warm, drawn butter. You pour a small amount of beer on the snails. They quickly begin to weave around uncertainly, as if they were drunk. How bizarre.
Hey boys, it's Miller time!
And with that, you cleverly pour bottle after bottle of Sam Andreas's St. Louis brew into the dusty road in an attempt to divert the stampede. Will it work? Will the snails fall for your ruse? Will they accept a domestic? Slurping their little hearts out, if snails may be said to slurp, or to have hearts for that matter, the little guys follow your lead straight over to the cliff beside Blackwater Creek. Isn't that cute? They're so gullible. Don't they look just like little lemmings marching over that cliff? Look out, Freddy. Injuns! No, wait. This one's an Indian. A real Indian. From India. He sits atop an ant hill surrounded by swarms of ants looking trapped. You feel sorry for him. If there were only some way you could help him.
Hello, stranger. I haven't seen you around these parts before. I know it's none of my business, but why are you sitting on top of an active anthill in the heat of this semi-desert sun?
Oh, my formal fellow, I am but a weary traveler from a land far, far away, journeying here peacefully merely to experience the curative powers of your local mineral waters. The other members of my stagecoach party claiming a frustration with my excessive verbosity and sesquipedalian inclinations forcefully placed me in my current sitting position on this lovely feature of your landscape, knowing full well that because of religious reasons I would be unable to climb down by myself.
How cruel those Yosemite-bound tourists are. My name is Freddy Pharkas. I own the local pharmacy here in Coarsegold.
How do you do, Mr. Pharkas? My name is Srini Lalkaka Bagnish. Pardon me if I don't get up.
I've been considering taking on a loyal Indian sidekick. I'm seeking a new assistant down at the pharmacy. Would you be considering a relocation to this area? You know, Coarsegold offers extremely reasonable housing costs and an abundance of sunny weather, and is close to schools and churches.
Well, no, not really, but yes. Perhaps I would be willing, but as you can readily see, I'm quite busy at this current moment.
Have you considered climbing down and walking away?
I cannot possibly do that. Life is sacred. If I were to move, I should indubitably injure some of these small six-legged life forms. I'm sure someone will come along soon to the aid of me.
I'll see what I can do, Srini. I've got it, Srini. I know how I can help you. Here you go, partner. Hoof your way across this.
Score! Oh, my balance sense is stretching now.
You made it!
Oh, thank you, Mr. P. You saved me.
Please don't call me that.
Thank you again, Mr. F. I am so much grateful.
Oh? Grateful enough to accept the assistant's position I mentioned earlier? I could really use some help around the shop.
I would be honored. Where do I begin?
So Freddy headed on back to the pharmacy, followed by the eternally grateful Srini Lakaka Bagnish. Seems like Freddy not only found himself a new assistant at the pharmacy, but also a good friend as well.
So as my assistant, I want you to help me around the store. Clean up, you know, the usual chores.
Oh, I would be highly gratuitous of your bending over to display me such a position. Would you be offering as well a form of payment?
I'll pay you 10 cents a day and all the Rustler's Stove chocolates you can eat.
That is an agreement.
Excellent. What was your name again?
Srini Lakaka Bagnish. But you may call me Srini, and I will be calling you Freddy. Okay?
Okay, now let's get cracking, Srini. I'd like you to go out there and create some nice displays for the skin lotions. We may be closed temporarily, but we'll be opening sooner or later, and we've got to be ready.
What it is, Freddy. I will be getting on that now.
Mind the store, won't you, Srini? I'm off to uphold justice and stuff.
Okie the dokie.
Something's rotten in the state of Coarsegold's bowels.
She can't hear you over the mighty roar of her lower gastrointestinal tract. You turn the faucet on and water gushes out.
Score!
You carefully fill one of your empty beer bottles with water from the tower. You turn the faucet off. You take a swig of the water from the water tower. Uh-oh. Your stomach starts to make strange sounds. Your small intestine begins to whine. Your lower intestine starts complaining loudly.
Hey, buddy, no cutting. It's people like you that give people like you a bad name.
Well, howdy, Mr. Pharkas. I was just leaving, I swear. Give me one more minute.
Perfectly okay, Billy. No need to get up. Just scoot over a little.
Well, Jeez, Mr. Pharkas, invade my personal space, why don't you?
A few moments later, you emerge feeling refreshed.
Gee, that water's got a nasty kick to it.
A few buzzards have landed here, waiting for some unfortunate life form to become vulture chow. Cedric the owl looks lost and out of place in the hot desert sun. If you listen close, you can almost hear him say,
"Freddy, if you're going to go in there, I'm going to wait out here."
He always has some flimsy excuse.
Helen, have you ever thought of putting escargot on the menu?
Huh! Don't know who around here will eat these since they don't give you gas, but I'll put them in a bag of cornstarch and think about it. And I suppose thank you is in order, so thank you. Score!
A gigantic pile of 50-pound sacks of baking soda fills the sidewalk in front of your store, nearly blocking the entrance. The baking soda is the famous Leg and Hammer brand, named for the famous international industrialist. His slogan, "Keep one sack in the smokehouse and another in the stable to help keep it clean and fresh smelling." Summoning up superhuman strength, you heft the huge pile of baking soda. Then, with a horrible wrenching, tearing sound, you cram the sacks of baking soda into your pants pocket.
You return.
Yep.
It is good to look upon your eternally smiling countenance of face again.
Yeah, I've missed you too.
The chemical warms slowly over the alcohol lamp. Now it's getting pretty hot. Good thing your calluses are thick. Chemical rapidly reaches a full rolling boil. You quickly lick your fingers and pinch out the alcohol lamp's flame. You carefully label the bottle bisalicylate antitoxidine. Congratulations! Be careful, this stuff is mighty concentrated.
Mind the store, won't you, Srini? I'm off to uphold justice and stuff.
Okie the dokie.
You grab the ladder. Remembering your father's advice about never using the topmost rungs of a ladder, you stop just short of the ladder top. This hank of rope is plenty sturdy. Give yourself enough of it and you'll hang yourself. With a few quick movements, you make an authentic Western lasso out of the rope. It's like falling off a log. Once you learn how, you never forget.
Score!
You snare the tower top. The crowd eats it up.
Who's the schmuck with the rope?
Be careful you don't put an eye out.
Score!
You can't seem to get a good grip on the shingles. As you reach the top of the water tower, the crowd cheers.
Thank God, it's Freddy.
We're number one. We're number one.
What are you gonna do now, Freddy?
I'm going to Sierra Land!
Boing! That one hit a 9.0 on the free plug-o-meter. You carefully pour the purification solution into the town's water supply. Excellent job.
It weren't more than a few hours before the folks of Coarsegold was feeling a whole heck of a lot better. Their bowels were all settled down and happy. Freddy knew he could relax now. Everything was calm and peaceful. But round about midnight, that very same night, trouble struck again. Freddy was in his own bed, sound asleep, when...
Fire! Fire, Freddy Pharkas! Please come urgently!
What's wrong, Srini?
A tragedy is becoming. The assay office is aflame. She is burning with a might more severe. The pharmacy may be next alighted. Get dressed as soon as possible.
I am dressed. I don't own pajamas.
Take mine. No, wait. There is not time to perform such an effort. Just hurry and scheme in such a way so as to extinguish the most threatening fire.
Mind the store, won't you, Srini? I'm off to uphold justice and stuff.
Okie the dokie.
The old abandoned assay office is ablaze, threatening to burn down not only itself and your pharmacy, but the whole town. pluck! What prowess! What a ridiculous solution! Still, you thought of it. You single-handedly quenched the flames of the assay office by using the seesaw as a catapult for the baking soda. Too bad nobody was here to see it. They'll never believe you in the morning.
The boss is more than a little upset. Seems that our friend has been thwarting every plan so far.
Yep, something's gotta be done about it.
Absolutely. Now, let's get down to business. What is the best way to get rid of our little problem permanently?
How about hanging?
Oh, too quick and merciless. Poison?
Nah, too unsure. Ancient Egyptian dagger.
I can't find mine. Got one on you?
Not at the moment. It don't matter how we do it, so long as we do it soon. And we don't want no proof it was us, neither. And nothing to connect it with the boss.
Excellent thought. And the boss has arranged for a bit of muscle to come in and make sure the entire town's cleaned out PDQ. We'll be rid of that do-gooder and all his flea-bitten friends in no time.
Laughing cruelly, they sit back to reflect on their villainy.
Howdy, Chastity.
Howdy to you, you big old sloppy hunk of manly macho woman-loving man.
Laying it on a little thick tonight, aren't we?
Yeah, business is slow, but I gotta keep in practice.
Evening, Purity.
Evening, Freddy, darling. Has Madam still got you under lock and key, or you gonna let us get a hold of you one of these days, big boy?
I'm afraid I'm all hers, for the time being. Bah-ha-ha-ha-ha-ha.
Translation: how much do you charge anyway?
Score!
You snatch the French postcards.
Howdy, Miss Virtue. You sure are a vision of loveliness.
Thank you ever so much, Freddy. And you, sir, are a study in buff.
What does that mean?
Just that you're the manliest prescription-filling man I did ever see.
Oh, thank you.
Why, it's a lovely painting of Fred and Ginger. You know, Fred Mertz and Ginger Grant, that hot new minstrel team. Why, it's a lovely painting of Fred and Ginger. There's a handsome silver tea set on the coffee table. It stands out, since it's just about the only thing in the room that isn't plush red velvet.
Hey, Mon Amour, it's about time you showed up. Ready to take my pharmacy bill out in trade?
Sure.
Then get over here before I have to come get you, little pumpkin. Freddy, I think you should leave.
Why, Sadie? Just because I'm using you for cheap, tawdry pleasure when my heart belongs to Penelope Prim, the gorgeous, young, obviously more virtuous new town schoolmarm?
What? Who?
Oh, nothing. Never mind. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying I think you should leave. Leave town, that is. There's... Oh, it's so tragic. Freddy, there's just no easy way to say this. The girls say the sheriff and the banker talk in their sleep. They hate you, Freddy. They want you dead. They're out to get you. Something about you foiling the plan and how they had to get you out of the way. You have to run, Freddy. You have to get out of town by sundown.
Now, don't you worry, Sadie. I've been doing a pretty good job up till now. Using just my wits and my pharmacological knowledge, haven't I? I'm not gonna just turn tail and run and leave you and Penelope and Coarsegold behind me to fend for yourselves.
You're not listening to me, Freddy Pharkas. There's man a-comin'. Man with guns. Big guns. Guns with long barrels. Long, hard barrels. Long, hard, steely barrels. And low-slung holsters and... Oh, sorry.
Sadie, snap out of it!
Oh, sorry. I was just visualizing. Anyway, you'll never be able to outthink men with guns. If you're set on staying in town, you'll have to, go back to your old ways.
That's out of the question. I left gunslinging behind me years ago. I'm not like that anymore, and I don't want to discuss it.
Stop it. You gotta choose, and that's all there is to it, hon. Either leave town and save your hide, or pull yourself together and face reality. Quit talking about potions and liniments. They're not gonna stop no bullets. It's time to get off of your cute little butt and give these men a taste of frontier justice. Now, what are you gonna do?
I don't know. Hold me, Sadie. Press me to your ample bosom, and let me decide tomorrow.
You got it, hon.
Now, let's see, where was I? Oh, that's right. Madame Overy begged and pleaded with Freddy to either leave town or take up his old gunslinging ways, something which Freddy was just a mite reluctant to consider. So they decided to sleep on it, and though they didn't get much sleep, Freddy did mull it over somewhat. The next morning, he decided to... Maybe I better... Wait, maybe I better... Well, never mind. Just go on.
Penelope, Coarsegold, Madam Ovary. I know I've got to get out of this town before they gun me down, but I can't. Coarsegold's my home, and darn it to heck, I'm not gonna let some cheap criminals run me out of my home. Oh, Sadie's right. I've got to be the man I once was. I've got to dredge up my ugly past, meet it square in the face, stare it down, pick it up, dust it off, fluff it up, and put it on again. Srini, who let you in?
Your most gracious Native American, Running Gag, permitted me egress from the outside of the street. It was then that I allowed him to knock himself off for the remainder of the day, since we are still closed.
That's fine, Srini. Look, I've reached a decision. My life is in danger. Aw, heck, the whole town's in danger. I must take up gunslinging, and I'll need your help.
Pardon us for being said, Freddy Pharkas, but you are a humble pharmacist. Shooting as most perfectionly as a gunslinger is a skill requiring most years of tireless practice. You are ill-equipped. Perhaps you should make peace with your chosen deity and prepare to go to the great pharmacy counter in the sky.
Srini, you'll have to trust me on this. I used to be a gunslinger before I took up pharmacology. If I did it before, I can do it again. It shouldn't take long to brush up my skills. I've just got to find my guns and do a little practice shooting.
Very well, Freddy Pharkas. When you are prepared, meet me at the edge of town, and together we shall practice what little must be left of your shooting skills. Yes?
Mind the store, won't you, Srini? I'm off to uphold justice and stuff.
Okie the dokie.
Those flies are really enjoying that byproduct.
Score!
You bravely, stupidly grab the steaming, fly-laden horse plop. Fortunately, it seems to be holding together well as you place it in your pocket.
Hey, I put out a fire last night and saved the town. Proud of me?
Of course I'm proud of you.
Hey, Fletcher, how's the plumbing business?
He doesn't respond. Apparently, he's too engrossed in reading the latest copy of the Scoocher Down and Examiner.
Sal, do you still have that pair of boots I dropped off for a shine? I know it's been about 6 years now, but I just remembered I left them here.
Let me see. What's the number on this claim check? Let me look under the counter here.
Yep, still here. Have 'em ready for you next Tuesday.
Oh, never mind. I'll just take them as is.
Don't worry about the storage charges, okay?
Ooh la la and va va voom. No, that's not an exclamation. That's the names of the two ladies prominently featured on Madame Spicy French postcards. Or rather, they're the two ladies with the prominent features on Madame Spicy French postcards.
Score!
You hand Salvatore your French postcards.
Your customers may not be able to read, Salvatore, but I bet they would enjoy looking at pictures.
Oh, no, they're not interested in...
Wait a minute. What in the hell are those girls doing?
I'm not sure, but I don't think it's legal on this side of the Sierra Nevada.
Well, no, your exceptional generosity's got to be reciprocated.
Could I be interested you in a free shave?
No, thank you, Sal.
Then how about a free wisdom tooth extraction?
Oh no, mine are already out. Had them pulled in the dental department while I was in college. Needed the extra money for tuition.
Okay, well then, let me see. What I got in here that'd be a suitable swap?
Hi, there we go. Take this bottle of that newfangled nitrous oxide I got off the Fars Welgo wagon last week.
Ain't none of these guys around here wants to be the first man too sissy to stand up to my forceps for a little old tooth pulling.
Why, thank you, Salvatore. Perhaps I can use this in some of my experiments.
I said get!
Mom offers free coffee to her regular customers. You're as regular as anyone. 11 a.m. every morning, you head straight for the outhouse, so as usual, you pour yourself a steaming hot cup of joe.
Hopsing, had you put up those no-pest strips yet?
Sorry, Mom. They're on order.
Look what you've done! Freddy Pharkas, I'll see you run out of town for this! Hopsing, hop to it! Get out here and clean up this mess! Damn these flies!
Oh, you're in big water now.
Score!
Good move, Fred. Glancing furtively around to see if Doug's within sight, you grab his shovel.
Score!
You start to dig up the freshly laid grave. Muscles that haven't been used in years begin to groan and whine. But with the gritty determination of a professional grave robber, you toil on. And on. And on. It's an open grave. Even a world-weary, seen-it-all pharmacist like yourself, one who deals with cold sores, headaches, and diarrhea on a daily basis, still can't shake that uneasy feeling one gets when standing close to death.
Score!
You grab a handful of clay from the pile beside the grave. Well, you never know, it could come in handy. You carefully search through the many pockets of Graves' $3 suit until you discover the safe deposit box key you entrusted to Phil oh so many years ago.
Score!
In a touching display of emotion and a hidden desire to carry a little less around with you, you fold up Philip's letter and place it under his folded hands.
I guess this makes Phil a correspondence corpse.
You begin the arduous task of replacing the heaping mound of dirt one shovelful at a time, over and over and over.
Say, it was too bad about your pharmacy being shut down. Must be hard to lose a business so sudden-like. We here at the Bank of Bob sympathize.
You hand the safe deposit box key to PH Balance.
It'll be ready Tuesday. Oh, I mean, allow me to fetch your safe deposit box for you immediately.
You lovingly lift your pistols from the box where they've spent the past decade.
Score!
You take your lucky neckerchief out of the safe deposit box. Now you're really beginning to feel lucky.
Wait a minute. The last time I wore this was when Kenny shot off my ear back in St. Louis.
Well, okay, so maybe it's not that lucky a neckerchief.
Oh, I'm all done now.
Thank you for using the Bank of Bob.
Sheriff, I'm going to be saying my goodbyes soon, and I just wanted to thank you for all your help.
Don't mention it, boy. If I could do anything to make your departure more hasty or pleasant, feel free to ask.
Score!
Here, Sheriff Shift. I know how much a law-enforcing person like yourself appreciates a good, fatty, dessert-like foodstuff for breakfast.
Wait, thank you. I've been so hungry I could eat a bar. But you think I could get a cup of coffee to go with this?
Why, sure, Sheriff. But in the meantime, I've been thinking about moving to another city. But I've got no bullets. I was wondering if you have any bullets that would fit an old .45.
Why, sure, son. Here, have a box of these Remingtons. No charge. They're on the county.
Score!
Here's what you wanted, Sheriff. A nice hot cup of Mom's coffee.
Thanks, partner. This will sure go good with that apple pie you gave me.
You're most welcome, Sheriff. Say, you wouldn't happen to have a spare gun cleaning kit, would you? These old pistols of mine are dirty as sin.
Okay, son. But this gun cleaning kit'll be the last thing I give you. Now get your pistols clean, get your horse packed, and get your ass out of my town.
Who would steal a handful of clay from a gravesite? If you only had... Sheriff Shift was so nice to give you his gun clean. You poke around in the gun cleaning kit, but you find nothing useful.
Hey, maybe a fella could use this for cleaning guns.
Duh. With the sheriff's cleaning kit, you lovingly clean and polish your old pistols till they're like new. Good thing you removed all that nasty rust from your barrel. Damn thing could have exploded right in your face.
Score!
You slip the bullets in the chamber as the old memories come rushing back. And a few featuring you and your first cousin out behind the barn when you were both curious 8-year-olds.
Well, Straney, I think I'm ready to try some target shooting. You ready?
Certainly. I am without a desire to wait any further to stand in front of your blazing guns and take my life in your hands to help you perfect your shooting.
How do you want to start?
Perhaps it would be besting if you place some targets upon the fence posts for a commencement. Okie dokie, Freddy Pharkas. First we shall see if you can successfully strike the bottles from afar with the bullets of your pistol. Then I will toss the bottles up in the air and you may try to hit them in flight. Good luck and may the best man win. Score! Very good, Freddy Pharkas. Let us try some quick drawing. Just make sure you hit the target and not me. Score! I'm uploading myself inside. Now for the big challenge. 6 bottles all at once. Say, Freddy Pharkas, you are not so bad after all at this shooting gig.
Why, thanks, Srini. My life and the lives of every man, woman, and ruminant in this town depend on my being quick with a gun.
Did you not mention earlier that your life is in danger most forthcoming?
Something like that.
Might I then suggest that you might be excellent to placing a disguise upon your person, thereby making it to appearances that Freddy Pharkas has no longer around in this locality?
Good thinking, Srini. I'll need a disguise of some sort, something that will strike terror into the hearts of the bad guys. I know, a bat. I'll disguise myself as a bat, and you can be Srini, the boy wonder. You have any leotards?
Pardon me for asserting, but this bat thing is really hokey.
Ah, you're right. Too juvenile. Let's see. How about...
Might I suggest a skin-tight costume with flowing cape and placed upon the manly chest thereof a large F for Pharkas?
Nah, that'd never work. I don't want people to know I'm Freddy, remember?
Then perhaps you are needing to do something about that right ear. Or, rather, the lack of that right ear.
Dang it, you're right. Everyone knows me as the one-eared pharmacist. I need to make a new one somehow. Maybe forge one out of metal or something. I'll give it some thought and meet you back at the pharmacy once I've completed my disguise.
The door swings open. From the back, you hear Chester's voice.
Help yourself. I'll be right out.
Hiya, Whittlin' Willie.
How'd the gunslinging go?
Great. I'm getting ready to leave town now.
Drop the leaving town bit, Sonny. I know what you're up to. This is my story, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Now finish putting that disguise together and get to it so we can get this town cleaned up once and for all.
Hey, you don't have to tell me twice.
Score!
Willie, I'm in need of a way to disguise my ear. Do you think you could do something creative with this? Something in the shape of an ear, perhaps?
Offhand, I'd say do it your dang self. My nap time's coming up shortly. I've had a hard day of whittling. But you could maybe do some lost wax casting with this sucker, and that'd do the trick.
Lost what?
Lost wax casting, son. What'd you do, sleep your way through metal shop?
I guess I must have. What's lost wax casting?
That's casting with an apostrophe, sonny, not an ing. Anyhow, you can make all sorts of things by making a wax positive, using clay to make a mold, then melting down the metal and pouring it into a mold. To make a mold, you carve whatever you want to cast out of wax, see? That's what we call a positive. Now, once you got the wax positive, you take some clay, see, and you patch the clay all around the positive. You just leave a little hole at the top so's you can get the wax out. So now you got your wax inside the clay. Well, you just heat that sucker up till the wax goes all oozy and you pour the wax out. That's the lost wax part, see? Now you got your empty clay mold, what we call a negative. You smelts down your metal and pours the metal into the negative. Once it hardens up, you can just scrape off the clay, and there you are. Did you get all that?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Well, that's what your restore button's for, kiddo. Now scrambooch.
The door swings open. From the back, you hear Chester's voice.
Help yourself. I'll be right out.
Score!
You borrow Whitlin Willie's knife for a while. With your newly acquired Whitland skills, you carve the candle wax into the shape of an ear, one that should theoretically attach snugly to the remains of your original ear. But now look at the gunk on Willie's knife.
I'll toss this knife over here where Willie might find it. He'll probably think he dropped it here.
Yeah, sure. You carefully pack the clay in and around the wax ear, leaving a small opening so that you can pour out the molten wax later.
You return.
Yep.
It is good to look upon your eternally smiling countenance of face again.
Yeah, I've missed you too.
Score!
You carefully remove the medallion from the wall.
Srini will never miss this.
Freddy Pharkas, what in an entirely unsatisfactory afterlife are you doing with my finely earned silver medallion?
It's going to a good cause, Srini. It's going to help make Coarsegold a safer, saner place to live.
I am hoping so, Freddy, for all the sakes.
The wax in the mold slowly starts to melt. The melted wax runs out of the mold and spatters on the work table, resulting in an empty ear-shaped mold and a table with a severe case of waxy buildup. The silver medallion slowly begins to melt. The medallion is nearly completely melted now. You now have a crucible containing molten silver. You quickly pour the molten silver into the empty mold. Your ear mold, is now filled with the melted silver from your award medallion. You know they're not going to send Srini another medallion. You scrape the clay off and discard it, leaving you with a gleaming silver ear. Beautifully done. With an ear like this, you could, dare I say it, rule the world.
Score! Score!
You take the letter out of the drawer.
Srini, I think I'm ready to get dressed.
Very good then. You start to dress and I will assist you in shortest order.
Score!
With your boots, your clothes, your guns cleaned and loaded, your silver ear, and your lucky neckerchief, you're ready to get dressed and assume your identity as the gun-slinging stranger. You return to your penthouse suite high atop the glittering Pharkas Pharmacy in beautiful downtown Coarsegold. There, Srini greets you and solemnly assists you in the final preening. It's a somber and yet somehow exciting event.
There you are, Freddy Pharkas. You are mostly indeed a picture of stately, mysterious strangeness. Nobody will be positive to recognize you now, at any time or place.
Thanks for your help, Srini. Coarsegold owes you a debt of gratitude it can never repay. If anyone asks, Freddy Pharkas has left town. And if I don't come out of this alive, the pharmacy is yours.
That is of a true generous nature you are displaying, Freddy Pharkas. As for me, I would like to open a pharmacy on the reservation among my people. But whether that is fated to be or not is in the hands of someone who is not I. Luck be with you, Freddy Pharkas. I am proud.
The stage was set for Freddy's Showdown. Wait, did I say slow down? I meant Showdown. No. I did say Showdown, didn't I? I thought I did. Weren't sure. Anywho, now that Freddy was wearing his silver ear thing and his old gunslinging duds, nobody except Srini recognized him. Not even Sadie Overy or Penelope knew who he was. They thought Freddy had skipped town, and they thought this new guy was just a handsome, silver-eared stranger who happened to be especially up on his pharmacology. Now, Freddy didn't have a lot of time to lose because things in Coarsegold was getting worser and worser.
Hoping Chester won't recognize you with your new disguise, you approach him with a friendly smile.
Say, partner, that's a woeful little sign you're carrying there. We'll polish ears for stagecoach fare. What's the problem? Why so down on your luck?
Well, I'll tell you. Even though I don't usually talk to silver-disguised strangers, there's a man inside who's the best damn poker cheat I've ever seen. I never even knew he was stealing my store till it was all over. You see, I bet everything I owned, including my store, on a queen-high straight flush. And that bastard had a king-high.
Don't feel bad, fella. I would have probably done the same. By the way, did you get this gambler's name?
Name? Sure did. Wheaton Hall's his name. Everybody calls him Aces, and I can see why.
Thanks for your time, and I hope things work out for you. I think I might just pay Mr. Aces a little call.
Good luck to you, stranger, especially if you're going to get in that game.
Thanks. I'm wearing my lucky neckerchief, so I'm not too worried.
Yeah, but are those blood stains there?
How's the game going, Slick?
Who wants to know?
Just interested.
Well, it's going very nicely, Justin. I've won the deeds to the saloon, the cafe, the school, and several other plots of land. My employer will be pleased. I should have the rest of the town sewn up in just a few minutes.
Who's your employer?
Sorry, that information is covered under the terms of boss hustler privilege.
That's Muff Potter. Nice to see him and Joe getting along again. He owns, or at least he did own until he started playing, a huge tract of land along the south side of town where Chinatown used to be.
Cheating! That's a fake left hand. Your real hand is hidden under the table. You've been feeding good cards into your hand and taking away the bad ones.
Why, yes, silver-eared stranger, you're correct. Almost. As you see, I have no cards under the table. I only have this. Now turn around, Silver Ear. I think I'd rather shoot you in the back, so I don't have to see that ugly face of yours.
What a manly man. Riverboat gambler in the corner pocket.
Yee-haw!
I could have done that if I'd wanted to. I just didn't feel like it. That's all.
Now, when the townsfolk caught wind of how Aces had been cheating, the sheriff had no choice but to arrest him and return all the deeds. But wouldn't you know, no sooner had one brouhaha died down than another flared up.
You encounter dozens of rowdy cowhands from that cattle drive outside of town who are carelessly firing their guns everywhere and frightening, not to mention killing the locals. They shout, "Let's stampede the women and rape the cattle." Luckily, the rowdy cowboys don't notice you from down below.
Let me score!
You take careful aim with your pistol and slowly squeeze off a shot. You did it! You shot off the canister's valve.
Score!
Yipperoonie! Freddy done made them cowhands laugh themselves to death with a well-placed bullet. Of course, he didn't get much time to celebrate. The sheriff and the banker and their unknown employer had figured that the mysterious silver-eared stranger might be just a little too much for them amateur rowdies to handle. So they'd called in some big guns from down south, just as backup, don't you know.
Hey, knock off the sound effects already!
What's that rotten smell? Oh no, it can't be. You recognize that smell from your old days as a lawman. More dangerous than Jesse James. Meaner than Johnny Ringo. Deadlier than William Money. More fun at cocktail parties than Rooster Cogburn. It's the legendary Lever Brothers.
Yep, it's us, handsome silver-eared stranger.
And we're here to put you 6 feet under.
Under what?
Your fervent prayer is that your few minutes of target practice with Srini will be sufficient preparation for odds like this. That just doesn't.
With his refurbished shooting skills, Freddy was able to blast the Lever Brothers to smithereens. Now, with those varmints out of the way, Freddy figured that was the end of the story, that somehow the Lever Brothers was responsible for everything that had been going on in town. But Freddy was wrong. The Lever brothers had been hired for the task of getting rid of Freddy by whomever had hired the cowhands, and whomever was in cahoots with Sheriff Shift and P.H. Balance. And no sooner had Freddy's guns stopped smoking than he heard a familiar twang and a few chords of someone's theme music.
What was that? Could it be? No. What would he be doing way out here in the middle of nowhere? You haven't heard that chord in years, and yet here it is again. Strangely recognizable after all this time. In your heart you know it must be him. And yet... How did he find you? Will he be fooled by your disguise? Does he still eat paste?
Kid, I want you out of town by sundown.
Well, sure, stranger. I'll be riding out of town well before sundown, leaving your sorry carcass for the buzzards to pick apart.
Will not.
Will too.
Not.
Two.
N.
E.
I refuse to play this juvenile word game with you.
I refuse to play this juvenile word game with you.
What are you doing now, repeating everything I say?
What are you doing now, repeating everything I say?
So that's why they call you Kenny the Kid. Because you are nothing but an immature little child, an anal retentive case of arrested development, with an unresolved edible complex and probably codependent to boot. You were a punk when I faced you back in St. Louis, and you're still a punk. Say your prayers, outlaw.
Say your prayers, outlaw.
Now cut that out.
St. Louis? I didn't know anybody with a silver ear in St. Louis, yet somehow you seem vaguely familiar.
Maybe we'll have time to compare yearbook photos. In hell!
Well, you may have knocked the gun out of my hand, hero, but you couldn't stop me from hitting you anyway. Sorry I got a mite sloppy when I pierced your ear. Looks like you'll bleed to death in a few seconds. Guess now I can tell Penelope that you won't be interfering with her plans anymore.
Penelope?
What did he say? Your head's swimming, but you're sure he said Penelope. Could it be her? Could she be the cause of all this?
Score!
You weakly pull the neckerchief from around your neck.
Score!
You place your lucky neckerchief on your ear and press on it to staunch the flow of blood. With your last remaining ounce of strength, you pull yourself up and stumble off towards the schoolhouse to see Penelope.
Penelope. Penelope the sweet. Penelope my beloved. Penelope the traitor.
Freddy dragged his bleeding self over to the schoolhouse. The anger and hurt was just ripping at his gut like a swarm of botflies on roadkill. Only worse, 'cause Freddy, unlike roadkill, was still alive. The schoolhouse door was unlocked for once, and Freddy walked right on in. When Freddy stepped inside, Penelope was standing at the desk, packing in a hurry. She didn't even notice him come in. Gazing at her like that, Freddy saw her for the conniving snake in the grass she really was. All the bitter hurt and betrayal and rage was too much for Freddy to hold down. It churned around inside of him and finally welled up, bubbling to the surface in a furious storm of outrage.
Hey, Penelope, what gives?
Oh, why, it's you. The silver handsome-eared stranger.
Handsome silver-eared stranger, you mean?
Oh, right. I thought Kenny had taken care of you.
Ha ha ha! Are you kidding? He did just the opposite. He hurt me. Just look at my ear.
Why, you poor man. You poor, brave cowboy. You're wounded. Here, allow me to tear a strip off my undergarment.
Penelope slowly moved her hands up to her bodice and began to carefully unbutton it, one button at a time, staring straight into Freddy's eyes.
You know, ever since I saw you capture that big, bad gambler at the saloon, I've been thinking about you. Thinking about how I wanted you.
She slowly slipped her hands under the fabric.
Could this be my Penelope? Is it hot in here? Or is it just me? And what's with all this echo?
Thinking about how I needed you.
And before Freddy knew it, Penelope yanked a derringer from her bosom and aimed it at him.
Dead, that is. Drop him, gunslinger. Now!
You resignedly unbuckle your holsters, letting your gun slip to the floor. Penelope appears to relax a little, but her finger is still on the trigger of the derringer. Looks like she might shoot at any moment. You grab the slate and whip it around just in the nick of time. As you bend down to pick up your gun belt, Penelope hurls the derringer straight at your head.
Before I kill you, Mr. Gunslinging Stranger Hero type, let's just find out who you really are behind that silver ear.
Freddy! You?
Yes, it's me!
No. Yes, it is I.
Boy, you can take the wicked, villainous, hoodwinking, double-crossing, lying slut out of the schoolteacher, but you can't take the schoolteacher out of the wicked, villainous, hoodwinking, double-crossing, lying slut. Why, Penelope, why? Why on earth have you done all this?
Oh, I may as well tell you, you little runt. You know too much for me to let you live. Well, all right, here goes. I had just finished my education back in western Pennsylvania at the local Meadville Normal School when I saw a small ad on the school bulletin board seeking teachers for a, quote, lovely little village way out west nestled high in the Sierra Nevada mountains. I wrote a letter of inquiry and was offered the position by the Coarsegold Board of Education. They even sent me stagecoach fare. Soon after my arrival, which you saw in the prologue, I believe. Am I boring you? Oh, good. I noticed the oily swamp behind the schoolhouse. Being a good Pennsylvania oil country girl, I grasped immediately that Coarsegold was literally oozing money. But I could never afford to buy mineral rights on the meager pittance they pay a single unwed
female teacher, so I made a little arrangement with Mr. Balance. He foreclosed whichever mortgages he could and convinced Sheriff Shift to shut down everyone else. Balance would get the land and buildings for a song and give me the mineral rights I wanted, as long as I gave him what he wanted.
But Penelope, you seem to be such a sweet, innocent young woman. How could you be such a sleazebag?
Well, it had to be me, Freddy, don't you see? It's always the person you least suspect.
Well, I didn't suspect Srini. Couldn't it have been him?
Well, it's a little late for that now.
Wait! I really didn't suspect me!
Well, if it's you, then I'm doing the town a favor by disposing of you, aren't I? Oh, kill me.
Penelope eyes the lantern sitting on the newel post.
Oops! How clumsy of me! Oh well, Coarsegold won't be needing a schoolhouse anyway.
Wait, there were a lot of other people I didn't suspect.
You scooch the chair closer and closer to your precious silver ear and just manage to snag it. Score! Smart thinking. You frantically give the silver ear a few quick rubs on the stone floor. In a trice, the silver ear gets a sharp edge, ragged and rough, but sharp enough to be dangerous. Score! Ah, scratching right there sure feels good, eh, Freddy? You manage to slice into the ropes with the sharpened silver ear. Score!
Justice will be done, madam.
Damn, I knew I shouldn't have wasted my time packing those student folders. I shall allow you to choose the manner of your demise.
Say what?
Oopsie. Sorry, you took too long to decide.
Penelope grabs one of the swords off the Civil War display above the blackboard.
Score! Oh, dear. I wonder, did I forget to mention downstairs that Meadville Normal had the nation's first female fencing team? En garde. Curses, you foiled me!
It's not a foil, it's a saber. A foil is straight and has two sharp edges, unless it's the smaller French foil, which is dull and is used chiefly for thrusting. A saber, like this one, is curved and has one sharp edge. As a teacher and a member of the fencing team, you of all people should have known that.
Oh no. Foiled, defeated, and corrected. Now I really feel bad.
And thank God for my high school intramural sports program. Otherwise, I'd be fettuccine Alfretti by now.
It's you! I recognize you now from the old neighborhood. Freddy something.
Good to see you again, Kenny. I hope I didn't hurt your hand out there in the street.
Whoa, that was you out there? I didn't recognize you. Have you done something with your hair?
No, not my hair, Kenny, but this!
Hurling your sharpened ear like a Chinese throwing star, you whip it at Kenny, catching him right in the throat.
Score!
Yes, sir, by gum, by cracky. With his one good ear all mangled and grody, Freddy managed to leap from the schoolhouse just seconds before it went up in the biggest conflagration Coarsegold had ever seen. The truth came out about Penelope and how she'd been plotting to buy up all the oil rights. There was no earthly way she could have survived the blast. Still, it were curious how they never recovered her body. Sheriff Shift and P.H. Balance were run out of town on a rail. The townsfolk leased the oil rights to some big developers. Soon everybody was rolling in dough, sprucing up the town and revitalizing Coarsegold. Me, I eventually found my whittling knife, all gunked up. I don't remember dropping it. Must have had a spell of stupidity or something. And as for Freddy, well, he made himself another couple of silver prosthesii, one to replace the ear that Kenny just shot off, and one to replace the silver ear that ended up fatally lodged in Kenny's neck. What with all the fuss, Freddy was able to keep his gunslinging identity a secret. And it were a good thing, too, 'cause Freddy's adventures was far from over. But that little nipper is another story. Now get off my lap. You're starting to compact my vitals.
The whole town still remembers how the old schoolhouse was blown to embers, though Miss Prim's body was never ever found. Since the sheriff and the banker made the folks of Coarsegold red with anger, they tarred and feathered and ran 'em out of town. And Serini, he became an ordinary Rexall TP shaman down on the Pecos, where engine hearts still burn. While the townsfolk safe from danger talk about that silver earlobe stranger. Where did he come from, and when will he return? Pharkas, Freddy Pharkas. Black gold fields were his legacy. Freddy Pharkas, Freddy Pharkas. Peerless, fearless, and free.
Freddy, you?
Why, Penelope? Why? Why on earth have you done all this?
I suppose I can tell you. You know too much already, so I can never let you live. I had just finished my education back in western Pennsylvania at the local Meadville. Oh, wait a second. Josh, can I ask you a question?
Cut! Shelley, how many times do we have to do this damn scene?
It's just that I don't understand my motivation for this speech.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, why would Penelope reveal all this to Freddy? Why doesn't she just kill him and get on with it, for crying out loud?
Just do it, all right? I want to get home tonight. Look, I've got people coming in from the coast.
This is about acting, Gil. You wouldn't know anything about that.
Shell, it's just a plot device so that the audience understands what's going on. Otherwise, we leave a lot of unanswered questions.
Oh, can't we just put it in the manual instead, Joshy, sweetie, booby, honey? It's just so dull.
No, they might read it before they finish the game. Ready to take it again?
All right, fine, I suppose.
And action! Ow!
Oh, God.
You hit me again! No. You really hit me! Cut! Yes, I'm cut, and I'm bleeding too.
I hope it's serious, you little wimp.
Excuse me, can I say something here? I am gonna sue. This is what happened to Margaret Hamilton, you know. Where are you bleeding? My finger.
You'll never pick his ear with that finger again.
Oh, you just shut up, Miss Thing. This is all your fault, you know. Can you suffer through one more take, Gil? Oh, sure, Josho, and I'll just bleed to death. But you'll have your game. That's what you want, isn't it? That's what you really want. That's all this is about. You. All right. Come on, let's do it. What are we waiting for? Come on, people, let's go. All right, come on, let's do it. What are we waiting for? Come on, people, let's go. We're losing the light. Gil, use the pain. Directed at Shelley. All right.
Oh, my formal fellow, I am but a weary traveler from a land far, far away.
Cut!
What was wrong with that?
The accent slipped, babe.
Good.
I didn't hear any Italian creeping in. I thought it was pretty good.
You don't like my accent? You call my agent. I can't work under these conditions. I'm going to my trailer.
Antonio, don't walk on the ants!
Ants? Ha! That's what I think of your lousy ants.
Mike, get Antonio's agent on the phone. Steve, get the rest of the programmers down here. Gil, take 5. Double, stunt double. Hey, I said stunt double. I'm not gonna do this jump myself. I could break my neck. I'm going to my trailer.
Gil, just do it.
Oh, yeah, right. Like that's in my contract. My stunt double is supposed to handle this.
She can't. She quit yesterday.
Oh, really? Why?
People, work with me here. Huh? I'm sensing reluctance. Now, please, just do the jump before we lose the assay set, all right?
Oh, honey, doesn't this scene take place at night?
Well, we're shooting day for night. It's cheaper. The artists will fix it in post-production.
Oh, I see.
Off the set, Millie!
Oh, but I wanted to watch Gil break his neck.
Get out! He's nervous enough about doing this scene without you watching him. Ready, Gil?
This is ridiculous. I swear, I will sue if something goes wrong. This is what happened to Margaret Hamilton, you know.
Just do it. And action!
Ow! Workers' comp! Workers' comp!
Cut!